Okay, so I'm going to go over some supplies. I'm using a 4x6 piece of arch paper. That's how you say it, arch. It's spelled A-R-C-H-E-S, not arches. In the French term, it's arch. So I've had some people criticize the way I speak it because that's the correct pronunciation. It's arch. That's the French term. And anyway, it's 100% cotton cold pressed paper. I just taped it down in the corners just to hold it down on this piece of cardboard. We're gonna just draw like maybe like a winter. I was thinking of like a winter scene, you know, maybe like the hill starts kind of here. I don't want to draw it too dark. And then we could have like a fence. Have it go over this area or under this area. Maybe like here. Just a picket fence. Or you could do one of those, you could do picket fence or one of those, just those wood, you know, what do they call those fence? I don't even know what they call the fences, but they kind of go like this. Or they kind of go like this. And there's a fence like this. Just a little different, right? And you can have extending it or not extend it. Depends on how you want to do it. My pencil is acting weird. Right, we'll have some snow on there. We'll talk about the snow. So you just need to draw like a curved kind of line going this way and any kind of fence you want. It could be a picket fence, a nut, etc. And then we know obviously snow is going to be here. And it'd be kind of cute if we could put some, maybe some holly on this, or the leaves, or greens, or not, or just leave it simple. So basically we're going to concentrate on this part back here. And then maybe in here we'll add some, we could add some birds or something, or some ornamentation. We could do a wreath. It'd be kind of cute. So basically a circle. I'll just draw like a little circle here because I'm going to paint the wreath. Right, I can have the bow kind of here and just have a simple wreath hanging from that little section. Okay. So the background, we're going to just play with using watercolor. And I'm going to grab my 16 round. I know it's a big brush for a small area, but I love to use big brushes on these small areas. It just goes by faster. And I'm going to loosen up some, I can't even speak today. Some Prussian blue and a little bit of yellow. Also loosen up some ultramarine blue deep, burnt sienna. Now I did this card that's really popular on YouTube. I'm going to add a little of this turquoisey kind of color, which is using a peacock blue. A little bit of yellow. So kind of playing with all these colors, right? And depending on, you see how loose and watery they are, you can actually move them on the palette. I'm going to get a little thicker color for the tree. So we have the Prussian blue and the yellow. Really thick, hardly any water. A little bit of burnt umber. You get a nice dark green happening there. Okay, so I'm going to grab these two colors again. I'll be playing with various tones in my sky. And I have the thickness for making trees, simple trees. I'm going to get a little bit more blue in here. Okay, so we have a little line. I'm going to start to add the ultramarine blue deep. I'm going to water it down by just cleaning off my brush. All right, going in here, leaving that lighter on that side. Grab some more water. I'm going to grab my turquoise color. This is the peacock. I'll add a little bit of burnt umber now. All right, and then we've got that green kind of mixture. Cleaning off my brush. Now I'm going to go back and forth and add some of this diluted turquoise color. You can see me kind of grabbing that. I'm going down to this line. Getting a little thicker with my paint. Again. Also, it's good to have handy as a credit card if you want to scrape up some trees. I've got my ultramarine blue deep in here. Some tones. And going back with my green. You're just playing, you're going up and down and playing. You could turn it upside down too. There's my green. I'm adding a little bit of burnt umber down here. Wiping my brush, grabbing these two colors. This is the ultramarine blue deep and burnt sienna. So you can tap that. You can turn your paper upside down, kind of wiggle. Now I'm going to use a smaller brush, like an 8 long round. Get a little thicker of my paint colors. Mixing the ultramarine blue deep and the burnt sienna a little bit thicker. Just mixing these two colors. And kind of wiggle into a triangle shape. Oop, left a little dot. That's okay. And here we go. See, we got a tree there. A tree's there. You just kind of, for me, I'm going to have to lift up my tape so it doesn't look weird. Just kind of go down here. We've got this little puddle happening here. I kind of just lift it up with my brush. Look at all those trees we created. If you want a little bit darker, again, the green, Prussian blue, yellow, and burnt umber. And I can kind of wiggle here, a darker tree. Another one here. So I get like layers of trees happening. And if you want to add ultramarine blue deep, a little bit darker. Darker blue. Darker blue tree here. Bluish green. All this fun stuff. Look at how easy it is to make those trees. You're really just kind of making the paper wet with color and bleeding down the color, and you got these trees. And like while it's seeping in, if you wanted to scrape a tree color, like a birch tree, I always suggest taking the credit card end that's round to do that, this part. And it's still very, very wet. You kind of want to scrape it when it's seeped into the paper and it's not super wet. It's kind of a fine line between the two, you know. If you do it now, what will happen is that it folds right back into the paper, which is still nice for a tree, but not quite for a birch tree. I'm trying to see if it's shiny enough. I'm going to give it a little try. Yeah, see, it just scraped back into it, which is fine. We can make a tree out of that. It's not quite ready. So take the pointy end and make little branches just by scraping without having to paint. Look how easy that is. It's a fun little trick. Makes your life a lot easier. Look how cool those little branches are without having to do much work. So I'm going to try maybe a little bit on this side. Yeah, I do a little bit of birch tree there. Scrape up and make the little branches. That one's good. Get some birch trees kind of happening in there. Now that I know that the paper's good to go, some birch trees there. Now you don't have to put the birch trees in. Zoom in a little bit more. But you can if you want to. And we can wait till this dries and add some other trees here if you want. It's a simple way to make those birch trees. I love doing it. Okay, concentrate on the fence. We're just going to take some burnt umber, a little bit of Paynes gray, a little bit more paint, or you can use some ultramarine blue deep and burnt sienna. Maybe more on the burnt sienna to make a nice brown or grayish brown. It's up to you. Now we have this wonderful fence here. I'm using my long round again. I'm just going to go around and make this little gray tone, grayish brown tone. Maybe add a little bit more brown, some more sienna. Just fill this in. The fence doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of get that color in there. And I did that little wreath, but you could do some greenery, etc. just kind of really loose. Back here on the mound, this part, I'll take my ultramarine blue deep, and I'll water it down a little bit, add a little of the burnt sienna, and I'm going to just kind of take my brush on its side. See how loose and wet and watery it is? Holding it kind of on its side like this, not up like this, like this. Just kind of skim across this paper a little bit. So you know there's some snow in there. It's got a little bit of blue tone, but it's not. You can make it a little bit bluer if you want. I'm adding a little bit more blue. Just going across like that. Underneath the fence, of course, it'd be even bluer. Oh, I did miss a little spot here. I'll add the brown in a second for shadow. Going back and adding my brown. Let's see, I'm going back with my blue. We can get that a little bit deeper. Okay, so we're going to concentrate on that. Now we have our green still. I'm going to take yellow and the Prussian blue. First, I'm going to use it like green. I'm just going to just tap my brush and wiggle back and forth. Tap and push. You see, tapping, pushing, wiggling. Because the wreath doesn't have to look perfect. Just a cute little green. And it's damp and wet. And while it's damp and wet, you can kind of tap in some darker tones of the green. So I mixed some Prussian blue and some burnt umber. And I'll just tap a little bit of color here and there. Next to the light green. Gives it a little more three-dimensionality. Which is a simple little wreath. We should wait till that dries before we go ahead and do any red or colors like that. So I'm going to go grab some more browns here and make like a tree kind of here. It's still a little damp. It's a little damp. And we'll put, oops, it's a little wet still up here. Just light tree branch. And light tones going across. Up this way. So a variety. You can leave it without the trees like I said before, or add them in. And then even the birch tree, you can get a little bit deeper gray, just for like details, kind of put it on the right side of the birch. I'm adding in some gray tones. All that fun stuff. While this is drying, we can take some burnt sienna and make little grasses. Just like this. Just wisp up your 8 long round like that. Maybe a few that are longer. Just to give it a variety by the fence. And I'll go back in with my browns, a little bit of gray. Get a little bit deeper color under the bottom part of the fence. And on the right side of each little post. Well, I just realized I didn't put the post through here because it was like separated. Okay, I'm gonna put the post through. There we go. That's what happens when you have a little head cold. You kind of forget a lot of things. And I'm gonna take a little bit of pyrol Rubin, water it down to make my bow. Very cute, simple little bow. I'll just add that, and you can add little red dots on your wreath as well. And last but not least, you can just make some little indications that there's snow on top of the fence by just taking some blue on your brush and doing this up and down wiggle movement, maybe a little bit more ultramarine blue deep. Go up and down. So this looks like there's snow on the fence. And I'm going to make this a little bit darker down here where the fence is for shadow. You could make like somebody had walked through the snow. I'm going to just make a little shadows of snow this way. And some from the grasses. And last but not least, I think I'm going to put a little cute little bird, a little cardinal or something here. Like, it could be over here on top of this, but maybe have a couple. So I can put one, just the shape of a cardinal. A little funky shape. And I'll do his nose in a second. Tiny. So it's kind of a curved line. Goes up. Almost like a little half smile. Zoom in on the little cardinals. Little yellow beaks. So tiny. And you can take a little bit of Payne's gray on the tip of this brush, kind of tap next to where the beak is for the eye, and add the little legs. They're like chit-chatting, chatting away. That's pretty much it. You know, you can do some other things to it too. I'm going to get a little bit more color on my snow, adding a little bit more ultramarine blue deep to my blue that I had here, just to brighten it up a little bit. Add some variety. And you could add some more grasses. Now I'm going to go do some shadows here. It's perfectly up to you what you want to do for your car, but just a simple little cute little bird on the fence. And you can add some snow. So it'd be kind of cute to add a little snow. You can take some white gouache or white watercolor. Once you've painted everything in, don't do it you know, like as you're going to paint. So I think I'm going to add that in a little bit. I just want to add a few more tree branches with my wonderful birch trees. Just going to get up here and add some more tree branches by watering down some Payne's gray. Getting some more branches here. You could add birds up into these branches as well. And a few more little kind of loose branches back here. Look at all these branches hanging out. Okay. Now, depending on the size brush you use for your snow, the snow will get bigger or small. I'm going to use a 10 round, loosen this up. And I always like to smack it on another brush. Just makes it easier. So now it's snowing in the little forest. They're cute. I think I might want to do I didn't realize I should do maybe a wreath. Shadow. Like that. Kind of interesting. Shadow with a wreath. Or not just have that shadow, because kind of blended. Because I'm making up in my head what it would look like. I think the circle looks a little funky. I'm getting a little bit more blue here. But I'm pretty satisfied. Just a cute little wreath. And you could add a little blue, last touch, underneath the snow here. The snow that's on our wonderful, you could even put like a little snow kind of going like this with the gouache. A little bit onto the wreath. Voila. And remove it. And you could add it to some construction paper. You have a really cute card. So you just add the construction paper and it becomes a really, really cute card. Like I said, you could add some more greens coming this way. Be kind of cute. More birds, whatever. And if you're a Patreon member, you get the additional tutorial. This is a nice, simple winter sky kind of scene. And I go over this step by step. We added some birds, got a little fence here. It's a little bit different, a little bit more abstract than this one, but doable. And if you want to click the link in the in my description box, you can join my Patreon. You can join and cancel anytime and find out all about being a Patreon member. And it helps support my free content here on YouTube, which I really appreciate. So I hope you enjoyed painting this card. Let me know. Similar to like one I've done before, but just a little bit different with the fence and some of the snow shadows and all that good stuff. And get a little creative back here, you know. You could do more of a tree with birds up there. Add a little snowman, all kinds of stuff. All right, guys, take care, and I'll speak to you soon.